Standing by. Magandang umaga, Filipinos. Good morning. You're watching Eagle News Mornings from Canada. I'm Thomas I. Likeness, reporting from our Eagle News studio in the Western Canadian province of Alberta. My city is Edmonton, and I'm here to bring you news and commentary from across the country. Well, it's Tuesday morning. Good to be back in the big chair. I love these long weekends. So, well, first, let's look out the window, see what the weather's like in Metro Manila. Partly cloudy right now in the city, 28 degrees with a real feel of 32. Air quality is fair. But what's it going to be like for the rest of the day? That temperature is going to shoot up to about 35. It'll feel like it's 40, though, so you want to find a way to stay cool. AccuWeather forecasting a thunder shower this afternoon. And again, take care if you're outside, particularly if you have breathing problems. The air quality only rated as fair. Well, the coffee's on, just made a fresh pot, so grab that second cup, sit back, relax, and I'm going to tell you what's happening in Canada. First of all, we'll have a look at the weather across the country. Our street scene today comes from Cowichan, British Columbia. Cowichan is a native Indian name. Not sure what it means, didn't get a chance to look that up. But there's a street scene in Cowichan there. We thank our Eagle News correspondent in Victoria for that, Jeanette Doiseau. Jeanette, thanks for the street scene. Across the country, we begin with the West Coast. Victoria, mostly cloudy and 16 degrees. Vancouver, also cloudy and 16. We cross the mountains to Alberta. In Edmonton, it's mostly cloudy and 15. We got we just finished several days of rain, up to about 50 millimeters fell in the city. A lot of water in this region on the weekend. Calgary, partly cloudy and 16. In Saskatchewan, Regina, mostly cloudy and 15. Clouds in Saskatoon and 13. Now we warm up as we head east to Winnipeg. It's still cloudy there, but the temperature got up to 23 degrees. That's quite nice. Toronto, mainly sunny and 22 today. Ottawa, partly cloudy and 22. Same thing in Montreal, some clouds and 22. And the Atlantic provinces all reporting clouds. Fredericton, 21 degrees, Halifax at 16, and St. John's, Newfoundland, 18 degrees. Some of the stories we're following today: migrant farm workers in Canada facing exploitation, abuse, and health hazards. Prime Minister Trudeau says all police officers should wear body cameras. Trudeau's also defending his decision to attend an anti-racism rally. The Canada-U.S. border restrictions will be loosened, but just to reunite families, and a whole lot more. Oh, and we've got a report about Michael Jordan's donation to an anti-racism cause. We begin with a report today that was released detailing the grim conditions that migrant farm workers are facing in Canada. Unsafe working conditions, substandard housing, theft of wages, and other abuses have been reported. This report was prepared for the Migrant Workers Alliance for Change. Their spokeswoman, Karen Koch, says conditions are horrifying.
We heard from migrant workers who lost wages because of delays in travel, but are excluded from income support because they were outside the country. Many workers who did not want to travel to Canada during a global pandemic, fearing that they were risking their lives, but had no choice because their families depend on that income and they cannot access income support for refusing unsafe work. We heard from hundreds in mandatory self-isolation upon arrival that were denied food and were put in the usual overcrowded housing where they were unable to maintain social distance. We documented over $57,000 in stolen wages from workers who were not paid the mandatory quarantine pay or whose employers deducted quarantine-related expenses such as food, expenses that federal bailout money is supposed to cover. Workers have been trapped on farms, even after their initial quarantine has ended, unable to get groceries, send money to family, or get social support. Threats, intimidation, and surveillance have increased, with racist epithets and threats of police being used against Black Caribbean workers in particular.
This report comes on the heels of the deaths of 2 farm workers from Mexico. They died of COVID-19 while employed in southern Ontario. It says there are at least 3 major outbreaks right now on farms there, with more than 280 confirmed cases. Now, when asked whether the Alliance, of course, concludes the only way these problems can be addressed is by giving migrant workers permanent residence status. they would be less fearful about speaking out at that point. And when asked whether his government would give that status to migrant workers, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau was non-committal.
We need, whether they're permanent residents or whether they're simply temporary foreign workers, we need to do a better job of protecting temporary agricultural workers in this country, temporary foreign workers in this country. We have taken a number of steps, but there's more to do, and we will do it.
The report says the problems have worsened since the pandemic began because there are fewer workers in the country, and those who are here are expected to pick up the slack. Well, families separated by the Canada-U.S. border now have a chance to reunite. Prime Minister Trudeau says foreign nationals who are immediate family members of Canadian citizens or permanent residents and who do not have COVID-19 symptoms or COVID-19 itself will be allowed back in Canada.
This is an incredibly difficult time to be apart from a spouse, a child, or mom and dad. We hear that. That's why we're bringing in a limited exemption to allow immediate family members of citizens or permanent residents to come to Canada. I want to be clear, though. Anyone entering the country will be required to quarantine for 14 days. And if you don't follow these rules, you could face serious penalties.
Those penalties include a fine of up to $750,000 and or 6 months in jail. And those penalties will jump to $1 million in fines and 3 years in prison if another person's life was put in jeopardy. Now, the change does not apply to families of temporary foreign workers or students. Canada-U.S. border has been closed since March 20th, set to reopen on June 21st, although that closure could be extended. Now, on another issue, the Prime Minister says he wants to see all police officers in the country equipped with body cameras. Trudeau says he's discussing that matter with his government as well as the provincial premiers, but there's a lot of details that have to be worked out.
I think these are discussions we need to go forward on the logistics, on the cost, on the costs to provinces where there is contract policing in place. But the challenges that I've heard are more logistical and economic concerns about remote areas and the way those cameras would work. But yes, it is something that is, in my opinion, what we need to move forward with.
Trudeau says, sadly, many people have lost faith in the ability of police to keep them safe.
The reality is that many people in this country simply do not feel protected by the police. In fact, they're afraid of them. That alone would be bad enough. But systemic discrimination and racism in Canada goes much further than just policing.
You know, we've all been told to stay home, avoid crowds, even if it means missing something that we think is important to us. Well, Prime Minister Trudeau was asked at his daily news conference, why don't you do the same? So why did he attend an anti-racism rally last Friday where thousands of protesters converged, but there was no opportunity for social distancing?
In regards to the rallies, it was important for me to attend. I think to look out the windows of my office and see thousands upon thousands of young people, of Canadians of all ages, stand in solidarity to wanting to see change happen. I felt it was important for me to be part of that, to be able to listen, to be able to hear people, and to be able to understand and to share with people how important it was to act on it. I, as best I could, followed social distancing measures, wearing a mask, keeping distance where possible. But I recognize that it is a difficult situation where we are trying to balance very important competing interests. But for me, it was important that I be there to hear.
Well, as the fight against racism continues, basketball great Michael Jordan has stepped up with a multi-million-dollar donation to the cause. Standing by live this morning is Eagle News correspondent Zarita Sessi. Good morning, Zarita. Just how big is MJ's donation?
Good morning, Tom. And yes, Michael Jordan is showing us all why he's a legend on and off the court. So it was just a couple weeks ago when the entire world was watching Michael Jordan and the Chicago Bulls in The Last Dance. And even though that documentary has come to an end, Michael Jordan has made headlines once again. So in light of the recent events surrounding the death of George Floyd, Michael Jordan and the Jordan brand, his company, has announced that they will be donating $100 million over the next 10 years for the ongoing fight for racial equality, social justice, and greater access to education. In a statement released by the Jordan brand, they promised that, and I quote, "Until the ingrained racism that allows our country's institutions to fail is completely eradicated, we will remain committed to protecting and improving the lives of Black people." And we know that Michael Jordan is a man of few words, but he too has reached a point where he can no longer stay silent. So in a separate statement that he put out, he articulated the power that a collective movement can have and urged people to continue to put pressure on the leaders to change laws. And he also encouraged people to use the power of their vote in order to create systemic and lasting changes. So in addition to the Jordan brand donation, their parent company, Nike, has also committed $40 million over the next 40 years to support Black communities in the United States. In the past week, we've seen multiple NBA players show their support for the movement, including Toronto Raptors' own Kyle Lowry, Giannis Antetokounmpo of the Milwaukee Bucks, and Russell Westbrook of the Houston Rockets. And these are just some of the NBA players who have joined and will continue to join the many protests all over the country. Reporting from Toronto, Ontario, Canada, Zarita Sese, Eagle News. We live in interesting times.
Sarita, before you go, I'd like your thoughts on something. You know, professional basketball is set to resume the end of July. Some people are saying, well, you know, in light of the current situation, maybe this isn't such a good time. Your observations on that?
I mean, I can vouch for either side of the argument, but I personally think that it's actually a good time for the NBA, especially with the way Adam Silver, the commissioner, has allowed his athletes to be able to voice their stance on matters just like this by, you know, their T-shirts, their warm-ups, just how active their players are on social media. So as much as we don't want to take away from what's going on, I think the athletes themselves will not allow the attention to go away from what's happening right now.
So even though they're playing, they'll keep focused on the issues then?
I think so, especially when they have leaders like LeBron James, Russell Westbrook. I don't think that they'll allow any attention to be taken away from this because they themselves go through this every single day. So I don't think they'll allow us to forget it.
Thanks for joining us this morning, Zarita. Always a pleasure to have you on the show.
Thanks, Tom.
Still to come, we've got more on the report on missing and murdered Indigenous women. E-scooters. You ever been on an e-scooter? I haven't. E-scooters are back in Calgary. You're watching Eagle News Mornings from Canada.
Patindi ng patindi at tuloy-tuloy ang pagpapakita ng galing ng ating mga TNG aspirants. Abangan ng kanilang performances sa pinakamalaking talent competition sa buong bansa, Tagisan ng Galing.
This program is presented by SMC Infrastructure, building a better world. Sandig sugar-free white coffee, puno ng white coffee taste without the sugar, kaya lower calories. Try mo na Sandig sugar-free white coffee. Sarap ng white coffee, now sugar-free. Vet-approved Nutrichunks, the only premium dog food with active boost for optimum energy and prebiotics that help strengthen immunity. Just like Catherine Bernardo, gawing listo, ganado ang fur babies niyo. Listo ganado sa Nutrichunks. Magnolia Chicken Templados, delicious, ready to cook and freshly marinated daily. Pure Foods Luncheon Meat, pure sarap for every family. Star Chunky Cheese Corned Beef, ang cheesy ng corned beef mo. Walang duda, kids can tell na #1 ang Pure Food Standard Juicy, ang tender, ang juicy, ang sarap. Co-presented by Cooper, expert in air conditioning and electromechanical. Also engaged in structural, electrical, fire protection, plumbing, and sanitary services. Cooper, your ultimate MEPS and air conditioning solutions. Unlad Incorporated International, fight against global poverty. New San Jose Builders Incorporated. Canrib Corporation, your ventilation and air conditioning specialist. Vita Herbs Philippines Green Coffee. Masarap, mabango, at healthy pa. Puerto Rico Resort and Convention Center, Cabiao, Nueva Ecija. I love Puerto Rico. In participation with Rain or Shine Elastomeric Waterproofing Paint, Matinco. R Square Variables Incorporated. CompuZell Computer Services. Saisho International Trading Corporation. DN Steel. EMAC UPB Roof Corporation.
Hey, Aggression Ho here, and I'm a white coffee lover. Creamy kasi, and very yummy. Pero mas masarap kung hindi nakaka-guilty. Check my new discovery, Sandwich Sugar-Free White Coffee. Puno ng white coffee taste without the sugar, kaya lower calories. Try mo na! Sandwich Sugar-Free White Coffee. Sarap ng white coffee, now sugar-free.
The Bulacan Bulk Water Project is a treatment facility that will provide bulk water to the 24 municipalities of Bulacan to meet the increasing water demand of its residents. Through concessionaire, SMC Infrastructure also initiated the significant improvements of the Manila North Harbor Port, the country's busiest port.
Listo at ganado ang baby ko sa vet-approved Nutri-Chunks with active boost and prebiotics na pampalisto. Made with real meat, with essential nutrients to help them grow healthy and happy. Listo, ganado sa Nutri-Chunks.
Ikaw lang ang star ng buhay ko. Para sa akin, perfect ka. Ibang klase ang sarap ng corned beef mo. Ang cheesy ng corned beef mo. Pag Star Chunky Cheese Corned Beef, sarap ng corned beef, inangat pa ng real cheese cubes. Kaya perfect ang sarap. Star Chunky Cheese Corned Beef.
This is Eagle News Mornings from Canada. I'm Thomas. I like this. Well, a quick update on the COVID-19 numbers in Canada. We've got almost 96,000 cases. That's the number reported since the pandemic began. Sadly, though, 7,800 people have died. One of the side effects of the pandemic, at least in Canada, has been the effect on mental health. In a tweet on the weekend, Dr. Teresa Tam said 1 in 5 people surveyed reported symptoms consistent with moderate or severe anxiety. The results show that Canadians, and this has got her concerned, the results showing that Canadians have increased their consumption of alcohol, increased their consumption of junk food or sweets, snacks. I guess you just sit on the couch and eat snacks since the beginning of the pandemic. Tam is urging Canadians to be actively looking for safe ways to socialize, whether it be virtually, I suppose in small cohort groups, depending on what province you're in as to who you're allowed to socialize with. Should engage in some kind of physical activity, even if it's a walk around the block, and make some healthy eating choices. Basically, healthy food choices is something that's got her concerned. If needed, she says, people should seek virtual mental health resources. Well, the report into missing and murdered Indigenous women has been out for more than a year, but critics are saying little has been done by the federal government. We have more on that story from Eagle News correspondent Sabrina Solano de los Reyes.
The final report of the National Inquiry into Missing and Murdered Indigenous Women and Girls was released last year. Last June 3rd marked the first anniversary of this report going public. Ontario Associate Minister of Children and Women's Issues, Jill Dunlop, acknowledged the significance of this anniversary. Take a look.
We know Indigenous women and girls face a disproportionate risk of violence. We need to continue listening and make sure their voices are heard. That's why I'm pleased to announce Ontario is establishing a new Indigenous Women's Advisory Council. This council will inform effective and responsive solutions to violence against Indigenous women and the calls for justice outlined in the final report of the National Inquiry into Missing and Murdered Indigenous Women and Girls.
The National Inquiry into Missing and Murdered Indigenous Women and Girls presents and tells thousands of stories of violence and acts of genocide against Indigenous women and girls. More than 2,300 participated in this national inquiry by sharing their stories, experiences, and recommendations for change.
As a family member touched by missing and murdered Indigenous women and girls, I honor the families and survivors. It's taken generations of advocacy to acknowledge this issue. Let's take the next 7 generations to focus on healing, accountability, and reclaiming by investing in Indigenous women who have a right to safety. We all have a role to play. Let's rebuild a community that values Indigenous women. They must lead the action plan. We know what we can do collectively. Now let's work together and rebuild a community that is safe for everyone. Miigwech, Nyawa, merci.
The Native Women's Association of Canada reported about 582 cases of missing and murdered Indigenous women from 2000 to 2008. 67% of which are murder cases, 20% are missing persons cases, 4% are suspicious deaths, and 9% are for unknown reasons. The statistics are disproportionately high because Indigenous women make up only 3% of the female population, but they represent about 10% of all female homicides in Canada. On the anniversary of the report's release last June 3rd, Native Women's Association of Canada President Lorraine White expressed her disappointment towards the federal government's lack of action over the recommendations they have outlined in the national inquiry. Take a look.
It is not an anniversary that we are marking with any great happiness. After the news last week that the federal government will not be releasing in June a promised national action plan to address the 231 calls for justice of the national inquiry. Instead of a national action plan, we are left with a lack of action plan. But I do want to share some good news. Because while the government has not been able to find time over the past 12 months to conduct the consultation it says are necessary to draft an action plan, Canada's Indigenous women have been working hard to increase the safety of our communities and especially of our mothers, our daughters, our sisters, and our aunties.
The work to protect Indigenous women and girls continues. It is a lifelong process to ensure that the next generations of Indigenous peoples, women, and girls are well protected and safe. In Toronto, Sabrina Solano de los Reyes, Eagle News. We live in interesting times.
Well, have you ever taken an e-scooter out for a spin? I might try one day. But, if you're in Calgary, you might want to try one. We have more on that from Eagle News correspondent Rachel Lucis.
The e-scooter company Lime acknowledges Calgary as their top user. Calgarians use the ride-sharing service on an average of at least twice a day, with the ride lasting at least 15 minutes. Calgary was first introduced to Lime e-scooter in summer 2019, also being one of the highest usages during the pilot program in that year. Lime e-scooters are available in more than 50 cities around the globe, including college campuses. The popular ride-sharing service was discontinued in winter 2019 due to the weather. A lot of Calgarians are wondering if these e-scooters will still come back despite the COVID-19 pandemic. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic, Lime Company have paused their operations in many cities all over the globe, excluding Calgary and only 14 other cities worldwide. Do not worry, Calgarians, we are fortunate enough, and here's your chance to get around the city once again as Lime return in Calgary midweek in May. With the release, the company says each e-scooter are being used for an average of 7 times a day, which is triple than the average around the globe and double than the neighboring city. Lime Company says that they are aware and fully committed to the health and safety of their customers and the community as they impose an immense practice to clean and sanitize their vehicles for the protection of the customers and to avoid the spread of the virus.
In Calgary, Canada, Rachel Lucy's Eagle News. We live in interesting times.
You know, that looks like a lot of fun. I think I might try one. I just have to get my wife's permission. I don't know. Think I could? No, she's shaking her head. Just want to remind you, though, that the folks at EBC have something for everyone. You know, programs like Daily Insight. It's your source on the latest news in business and technology. What's it all about? Well, you'll hear inspirational stories behind small and medium businesses. You'll get some useful advice on starting your own business, so be sure to join Mayanne Gerzon and Randy Bernardino for Daily Insight. Daily Insight, another program to help you live in these interesting times. And on behalf of our Canadian news team, I wish you all good health. Take care of others. Take care of yourselves. Stay home, stay safe, and stay tuned to Eagle News for accurate and balanced coverage of the COVID-19 pandemic. In Edmonton, Canada, Thomas I. Likeness, Eagle News. We live in interesting times. Stay tuned for Agila, Balita, hosted by Maricar Velasco.
Thank you, Thomas. See you tomorrow.
We'll see you then.
Na ang mga pangunahing balita sa loob at labas ng bansa. Tinagit at kinalap ng Agila News Team. Agila Balita.
Narito na ang may init na balita. Ngayon ay Martes, Hunyo 9, 2020. Sa ulo ng mga balita. COVID-19 cases sa bansa nadagdagan pa ng 579. Kabuuang kaso pumalo na sa 22,474. Global death toll sa COVID-19 lampas na sa 400,000 batay sa AFP tally. Sa balitang pulis, mahigit sa 800 kilo ng shabu na nagkakahalaga ng 5 bilyong piso na kumpiska ng PIDEA at PNP sa magkasunod na operasyon noong nakaraang linggo. Sa ating balitang abroad, New Zealand, inalis na ang lahat ng domestic coronavirus restrictions matapos ideklarang cleared na sa virus ang kanilang huling COVID-19 patient. Ako ang inyong magiging tagapaghatid balita. Ako po si Maricar Velasco. Sa detalye ng mga balita, umakyat na sa 22,474 ang kabuang bilang ng COVID-19 cases na naitala sa bansa. Batay sa datos ng Department of Health, may talang 579 na karagdagan pang kaso. Pero sa bilang na ito ay 331 ang fresh cases habang 248 naman ang late cases. Sa mga fresh cases na ito, 114 ang mula sa National Capital Region, 156 sa Region 7, ang 60 naman ay mula sa iba pang lugar sa bansa habang ang isa ay mula sa hanay ng repatriates. Sa mga late cases naman, ang 106 ay mula sa NCR, 5 sa Region 7 at 106 naman sa iba pang lugar sa bansa, habang ang 31 ay mula sa hanay ng mga repatriates. May 107 namang naitala na bagong naka-recover mula sa COVID-19. Kaugnay nito, umakyat na sa 4,637 ang bilang ng mga pasyenteng gumaling mula sa virus. May 8 namang naiulat pang nasawi dahil sa COVID-19 kaya lumagpas na sa 1,000 ang bilang ng nasawi sa bansa dahil sa virus na may kabuuan na 1,011. Lumampas na umano sa 400,000 katao ang bilang ng mga nasawi dahil sa coronavirus disease batay sa ginawang tally ng Agence French Press. Batay sa AFP, may kabuuan ng 400,052 ang bilang ng mga namatay dahil sa sakit mula nang magsimula ang pandemic. Halos kalahati ng death toll ay mula sa Europe na may 183,428. Pinakamaraming bilang ng naitalang nasawi ang Estados Unidos na umabot na sa 109,802 deaths mula sa naitalang 1,920,061 cases. Ang Britanya ay nakapagtala naman ng 40,542 deaths. Sinundan ng Brazil na mayroong 35,930, sumunod ang Italy na may 33,846 at ang France na may 29,142. Department of Education, pinawi ang pangamba ng mga magulang sa kaligtasan ng kanilang mga anak sakaling magbukas ang klase sa Agosto. May report si Madeline Villar Muratilio.
Wala nang dapat ipangamba ang mga magulang para sa kaligtasan ng kanilang mga anak mula sa COVID-19 sakaling magbukas ang klase sa Agosto. Ito'y matapos na muling linawin ni Education Secretary Leonor Briones na walang mangyayaring face-to-face class hanggat wala pang bakuna sa COVID-19. Ito'y bilang pagsunod anya sa direktiba ng Pangulong Duterte. Para naman sa mga lugar na hindi naapektuhan ng COVID-19, sinabi ni Briones na kailangang may permiso muna mula sa Pangulo bago payagang magkapagsagawa ng face-to-face class sa mga lugar na ito.
Pero totoo yung sinabi ni Kong Romulo na may mga lugar na hindi tinatablan ng COVID at saka never heard sila. Halimbawa, the island of Siquijor, and it's very close to Cebu, very close to Negros, very close to Bohol, pero zero COVID record. And then you also have Siargao. You also have mga remote islands na hindi naaabot ng COVID. So, kailangan siguro hihingi kami ng permiso sa President dahil nagbitiw na siya ng salita na
Sakali naman aniyang pumayag ang Pangulo at magkaroon ng face-to-face class sa ilang piling lugar na COVID-free, binigyan diin ni Briones na kailangang masunod ang mga minimum health standard upang masiguro ang kaligtasan ng mga guro at estudyante sa COVID-19.
Pag mag-face-to-face, kung halimbawa man papayag ang Presidente na sa mga lugar na ito ay magka-face-to-face tayo, titingnan natin yung kondisyon ng mga classrooms. Yung size ng classroom sa halimbawa, pwede ba yung 1 to 2 meters na spasyo, yung space para sa mga bata, no? Na talagang mayroong social distancing. Mayroon bang available na health mga PPE, kasi requirement din yan ng Department of Health, emergency medicines, etc. At saka yung rules of hygiene, mayroon bang hand washing facilities, lahat-lahat yan. It's not only kinoconsider natin following the instructions of the President, hindi lamang ang walang COVID, pero titingnan din natin yung capacity ng infrastructure, ng facilities ng eskwelahan na yan na ma-implement ang minimum health standards. Kasi ang bottom line natin to safeguard the health and the safety of our teachers and our learners.
Kaugnay nito, inanunsyo ni Briones na mahigit 1 linggo matapos magsimula ang class enrollment, umabot na sa mahigit 6.4 milyong estudyante ang nagpa-enroll. Pinakamarami anya sa mga enrollees ay mula sa Region 3, habang sa National Capital Region na sinasabing sentro ng COVID-19 infections ay nasa mahigit 875,000 anya ang nagpa-enroll.
And as of 9:30 this morning, Secretary, 6.4 million na ang nag-enroll, nag-register sa bansa. 6,415,878. Ang pinakamalaking bugso ng enrollment ay sa Region 3 dahil malawak na malawak, 1.2 million na sila. Sa NCR, na medyo worried kami for a while dahil dito ang sinasabi natin na pugad ng COVID ay 895,406.
Ayon sa DepEd, ang enrollment para sa unang bahagi ng Hunyo ay maaaring gawin online o sa pamamagitan ng cellphone, habang ang ikalawang bahagi naman ng buwan ay maaaring ang physical enrollment pero may mga precautionary measures na kailangang ipatupad. Hanggat wala pang bakuna sa COVID-19 at wala pa ang regular na face-to-face class, blended education ang paiirali ng DepEd. Bagamat palaging sinasabi ng DepEd na online ang mayoriya ng gagamiting sistema ng pag-aaral, sa oras na magbukas ng klase, may ibang sistema naman anya ang ipatutupad para sa mga nasa remote areas.
Kung ulit-ulitin yung blended, ang ibig sabihin ng blended, kung anong sitwasyon, halimbawa sa isang eskwelahan, kailangan i-adjust natin ito sa sitwasyon ng eskwelahan. Kung ano ang pangangailangan, anong estado ng mga bata, mag-a-adjust ang teacher, mag-a-adjust ang school. Halimbawa, ang approach for NCR would be different from an approach to a remote island or remote mountain in the country. Depende sa availability ng communications.
Binigyan din ni Briones na hindi dapat maging hadlang ang COVID-19 pandemic sa edukasyon ng mga bata. Para sa Eagle News, Madeline Villar-Moratillo, we live in interesting times.
Malacanang hindi pa matiyak kung isa sa ilalim na sa Modified General Community Quarantine ang Metro Manila sa June 16. May report si Vic Sumintak.
Isa sa ilalim pa sa masusing pag-aaral ng Interagency Task Force o IATF kung anong quarantine classification ang ipatutupad sa Metro Manila. Sinabi ni Presidential Spokesman Secretary Harry Roque na kung pagbabatayan ng datos na nakukuha habang umiiral ang General Community Quarantine o GCQ sa Metro Manila, patuloy umanong bumababa ang bilang ng namamatay sa COVID-19, ganon din ang case doubling. Ayon kay Roque, mahirap pa rin sabihin kung isa sa ilalim na sa Modified General Community Quarantine o MGCQ ang Metro Manila. Inayag ni Roque, iba ang profile ng Metro Manila sa ibang rehiyon ng bansa dahil sa density ng populasyon. Niliwanag ni Roque na pagkatapos ng June 15 ay magkakaroon muli ng quarantine reclassification sa iba't ibang panig ng bansa alinsunod sa assessment ng IATF.
Well, siyempre po, tinitignan pa rin ng datos, pero dito sa datos na nakita natin, no, bumababa po yung kaso ng COVID-19 kapag re-record natin sila from onset of illness. At tingin ko po, ang datos sa doubling time ay humahaba din. No? So I would say that it is a safe conclusion na magkakaroon na naman po ng reclassification, no? Except iba po ang data talaga ng Metro Manila. So I think Metro Manila will have to be examined closer kung mag-MGCQ siya next week. No? I cannot actually conclude because the data of NCR is different. Because this is already the second week and we expect that on the 15th there will be new classifications in different parts of the country.
Para sa Eagle News, Vic Sumintak, we live in interesting times.
Sinibak sa pwesto ni NCRPO Chief Police Major General Debold Sinas ang 5 pulis sa San Juan na nag-escort sa convoy ni Mayor Francis Zamora sa Baguio City kung saan nalabag nila ang quarantine protocol ng lungsod. Samantala, kasama rin sa planong kasuhan ni Baguio City Mayor Benji Magalong sina PNP Deputy Chief for Administration Police Lieutenant General Camilo Cascolan, San Juan City Police Chief Colonel Jaime Santos at si Baguio City Police Chief Colonel Allen Ray Co dahil sa umunoy command responsibility. Ang detalye sa report ni Mar Gabriel.
Sinibak na sa pwesto ni NCRPO Chief Police Major General Debold Sinas ang 5 pulis San Juan na nag-escort sa convoy ni Mayor Francis Zamora nitong weekend sa Baguio City, kung saan nilabag umano nila ang quarantine protocol ng lungsod. Ayon kay Sinas, pinagpapaliwanag na ng PNP Internal Affairs Service sa mga pulis, kasama na ang kanilang Chief of Police sa si Police Colonel Jaime Santos. Pero hindi kasama sa pinasisibak si Colonel Santos.
First, we have relieved the PNCOs ngayon, no, kasi kahapon lang naman sila nag-report galing sa Baguio, pinag-explain na sila. It's the regional IAS ang nautusan. It came from directive from DCA. As to the Chief of Police, hindi ko pa po siya nirelieve. I will confer with the Chief PNP kung anong appropriate siya kasi kasama rin po siya sa pinag-explain po ng IAS. As to whether to leave it or not, wala pa kaming recommendations. I will confer muna sa investigators, then I will recommend to the Chief PNP kung ano po ang appropriate.
Lubos na ikinadismaya ni Baguio City Mayor Benji Magalong ang tila pagbaliwala ng convoy ni Mayor Zamora sa kanilang quarantine checkpoint. Kaya naman inihahanda na ni Magalong ang kasong isasampa sa grupo ng alkalde. Kakasuhan din ni Mayor Magalong sina PNP Deputy Chief for Administration, Police Lieutenant General Camilo Casculan, San Juan City Police Chief Police Colonel Jaime Santos at ang mismong Chief of Police ng Baguio City na si Police Colonel Allen Reyco. Ito'y upang kunin daw ang atensyon nila sa nangyaring insidente na naglagay sa mga residente ng Baguio sa seryosong kapahamakan dahil lang sa paglabag sa kanilang health protocols. Nirerespeto naman daw ni PNP Chief Police General Archie Gamboa ang desisyon ni Mayor Magalong at humingi na rin daw siya ng paumanhin sa ginawa ng mga pulis.
Ako mismo, I texted him, I personally apologized also if there are actuations of the Philippine National Police that are not or contradictory to their quarantine protocols. And I also instructed the Director for Operations to disseminate that the Philippine National Police, where you are assigned, should always observe the appropriate local protocols. Kasi alam naman natin that the burden of controlling the spread of the virus is upon the shoulders of the local government units. And syempre, yung interest talaga nila is also just to protect their constituents. That's why in-encourage ko lahat ng Philippine National Police in whatever capacity that you may be in. But if you are confronted with local quarantine protocols, then you should abide by it.
Humingi na ng paumanhin si Mayor Zamora kay Mayor Magalong at sa mga residente ng Baguio City dahil sa insidente. Paliwanag ni Zamora, hindi nila layong labagin ang umiiral na quarantine protocol ng lungsod at nagkaroon lang umano ng miscommunication sa checkpoint. Umakyat umano sila sa Baguio para ihatid ang kanyang misis na may stage 3 breast cancer. May lumang bahay daw ang kanyang misis sa Baguio kung saan plano nitong magpahinga hanggang sa tuluyang makarecover sa sakit. Para sa Eagle News, Mar Gabriel, we live in interesting times.
Pansamantalang isinara ang main office ng Bureau of Immigration sa Intramuros, Manila. Ayon kay BI Commissioner Jaime Morente, ito ay upang isailalim sa disinfection ang buong gusali matapos magpositibo sa COVID-19 ang isa nilang empleyado. Kaugnay nito, pinayuhan ni Morente ang mga nakakuha ng slot sa pamamagitan ng online appointment system na ipagpaliban muna ang pagtungo sa BI at maghintay na lamang ng abiso patungkol sa bagong schedule ng kanilang appointments. Tiniyak ni Morente na sa oras na matapos ang disinfection ay balik operasyon agad sila. Pinayuhan rin nito ang mga kliyente ng BI na sa website muna nila sa immigration.gov.ph mag-monitor ng mga bagong advisories. Nananatili namang bukas ang mga satellite at extension office ng BI sa Metro Manila. Ayon kay BI Acting Spokesperson Melvin Mabulak, ang empleyado nila na nagpositibo sa COVID-19 ay kasama sa daan-daang empleyado na sumailalim sa rapid test nitong Hunyo 2. Nang isailalim sa RT-PCR test ang nasabing empleyado na kumpirma na positibo talaga ito sa virus. Isinailalim na rin anya sa mandatory test ang mga kaopisina ng nasabing empleyado. Samantala, nag-anunsyo rin na ang Department of Labor and Employment na sarado pansamantala ang kanilang central office simula ngayong araw hanggang bukas, Hunyo 9. Ito ay para bigyan daan ng regular na disinfection operation sa gusali at mga opisina ng kagawaran. Maging ang DOLE Hotline 1349 ay hindi rin muna accessible sa publiko hanggang ngayong araw, June 9. Magbabalik operasyon ang DOLE Central Office sa Miyerkules, Hunyo 10. Sa ibang balita, may 8,000 trabaho ang inaalok ng dalawang pribadong kumpanya para sa mga OFWs na bumalik sa bansa matapos mawala ng trabaho dahil sa COVID-19 pandemic. Ayon kay Labor OIC Assistant Secretary Dominic Tutay, ang mga nasabing kumpanya ay ang Optimum Global Solutions at EMS Group of Companies na nakipag-ugnayan sa Bureau of Local Employment ng DOLE para hanapin ang mga OFWs na nawalan ng trabaho at nais magtrabaho dito sa bansa. Sa Optum Global ay 4,000 trabaho anya ang naghihintay para sa mga repatriated OFWs gaya ng Nurse Case Management Specialist, pero pero ang kailangan ay isang registered nurse sa Estados Unidos, clinical operations specialist na ang kailangan naman ay registered bilang nurse dito sa bansa at customer service specialist. Habang ang EMS group of companies naman ay nangangailangan ng 4,000 manggagawa para sa kanilang planta sa Technopark sa Batangas at Laguna. Ilan sa available na trabaho ay ang production operator at assembly workers. Ang mga aplikante ay kailangang 18 anyos pataas ang edad at graduate ng high school kahit walang background sa electronics ay pwede dahil maaari naman anya silang isailalim sa training. Kaugnay nito, nagpasalamat naman ang DOLE sa initiative ng mga nasa pribadong sektor upang makatulong sa mga naghahanap ng trabaho lalo na sa panahong ito ng pandemya. Susunod, kopya ng inaprubahang anti-terrorism bill isusumite na ng Senado kay Pangulong Duterte. Ang detalye na yan sa pagbabalik ng Agila Balita sa umaga.
Agila Balita.
Patindi ng patindi at tuloy-tuloy ang pagpapakita ng galing ng ating mga TNG aspirants. Abangan ng kanilang performances sa pinakamalaking talent competition sa buong bansa, Tagisan ng Galing.
This program is presented by SMC Infrastructure, building a better world. Sandig sugar-free white coffee, puno ng white coffee taste without the sugar, kaya lower calories. Try mo na Sandig sugar-free white coffee. Sarap ng white coffee, now sugar-free. Vet-approved NutriChoice, the only premium dog food with active boost for optimum energy and prebiotics that help strengthen immunity. Just like Catherine Bernardo, gawing listo, ganado ang fur babies niyo. Listo ganado sa NutriChoice. Magnolia Chicken Templados, delicious, ready to cook and freshly marinated daily. Pure Foods Luncheon Meat, pure sarap for every family. Star Chunky Cheese Corned Beef, ang cheesy ng corned beef mo. Walang duda, kids can tell na #1 ang Pure Foods Tender Juicy. Ang tender, ang juicy, ang sarap. Co-presented by Cooper, expert in air conditioning and electromechanical. Also engaged in structural, electrical, fire protection, plumbing, and sanitary services. Cooper, your ultimate MEPS and air conditioning solutions. Unlad Incorporated International, fight against global poverty. New San Jose Builders Incorporated. Canrib Corporation, your ventilation and air conditioning specialist. Vita Herbs Philippines Green Coffee, masarap, mabango, at healthy pa. Puerto Rico Resort and Convention Center, Cabiao, Nueva Ecija. I love Puerto Rico. In participation with Rain or Shine Elastomeric Waterproofing Paint, Matinco. R Square Variables Incorporated, CompuZell Computer Services, Saisho International Trading Corporation, DN Steel, EMAC UPB Roof Corporation.
Hey, Aggression Ho here, and I'm a white coffee lover. Creamy kasi, and very yummy. Pero mas masarap kung hindi nakaka-guilty. Check my new discovery, Sandwich Sugar-Free White Coffee. Puno ng white coffee taste without the sugar, kaya lower calories. Try mo na! Sandwich Sugar-Free White Coffee. Sarap ng white coffee, now sugar-free.
The successful development of TPLEX, or Tarlac Pangasinan La Union Expressway in 2009, a 4-lane toll road that extends from Tarlac City to Rosario La Union, with an additional approved extension of 56 kilometers all the way to San Juan La Union. This is expected to reduce travel time to Baguio and other provinces in northern Luzon. Realizing the vision of creating a better world for Filipinos fueled the team's focus.
Listo at ganado ang baby ko sa vet-approved NutriChunks with active boost and prebiotics na pampalisto. Made with real meat, with essential nutrients to help them grow healthy and happy. Listo, ganado sa NutriChunks.
Ikaw lang ang star ng buhay ko. Para sa akin, perfect ka. Ibang klase ang sarap ng corned beef mo. Ang cheesy ng corned beef mo. Pag Star Chunky Cheese Corned Beef, sarap ng corned beef, inangat pa ng real cheese cubes. Kaya perfect ang sarap. Star Chunky Cheese Corned Beef.
Agila Balita.
Ipadadala na ni Senate President Vicente Soto kay Pangulong Duterte ang kopya ng inaprubahang anti-terrorism bill. Ayon kay Senator Ping Lacson, ito ang nakuha niyang impormasyon mula sa tanggapan nito. Dahil dito, nasa kamay na niya ng Pangulo kung hindi lalagdaan o i-veto ang ipinakunukalang batas. Hindi na rin niya maaaring iurong o bawiin ng mga kongresista ang kanilang lagda sa panukala. Samantala, ang Kamara muling binusisi ang U.S. citizenship ni ABS-CBN Chairman Emeritus Eugenio Gaby Lopez III. Umunoy pagiging bias ng network, kinuwestiyon din sa pagdinig ng Kamara. May report si Eden Santos.
Kinumpirma mismo ni ABS-CBN Chairman Emeritus Eugenio Gaby Lopez III na madalas gamitin ang kanyang US passport sa pagbiyahe sa Europe at iba pang mga bansa. Sa pagdinig ng House Committee on Legislative Franchises at Committee on Good Government and Public Accountability sa ABS-CBN franchise, ay tinanong ng ilang kongresista si Lopez kung ano ang ginagamit niyang passport sa kanyang pagbiyahe sa abroad. Sinabi ni Lopez na hindi na kailangan ng visa sa Europe kapag US citizen, kaya ang US passport nito ang kanyang ginagamit. Inamin din ito na Philippine passport naman ang gamit niya kung sa mga bansa sa Asia ang kanyang biyahe dahil hindi na rin hinahanapan ng visa ang isang Filipino citizen.
When you traveled to Japan, what passport did you use?
Magandang hapon po, Congressman.
Yes. Good afternoon.
I believe I used my U.S. passport because you don't need a visa.
So, does it not occur to you, Mr. Lopez, that when you use an American passport, you are seeking the protection of the American government whenever you use that document?
I am simply making a decision based on what is convenient in terms of visas.
Yes, but under international law, a person carrying a passport of the United States is under the protection of the U.S. government. That is a declaration to the whole world and to that country that you are a citizen of America.
Opo, I use naman the Philippine passport when I travel to all the ASEAN countries. And that is equally a declaration that I'm a Filipino citizen.
Sa tanong naman ni House Deputy Speaker at Sagip Party List Representative Rodante Marcoleta kung saan niya ilalagay sa bahagi ng dibdib niya si Uncle Sam, ito ang sagot ni Lopez.
Sabihin po kasi ito, Mr. Lopez. At kung hindi naman po dalawa ang puso ninyo, pwede ko bang itanong sa inyo, saan bahagi po ng dibdib ninyo ilalagay po si Uncle Sam?
Hindi sa dibdib po.
Ano po?
Hindi po sa dibdib.
Saan po? Dalawa lang po ba? Isa lang ang puso ninyo. Kung hindi naman dalawa, ang tanong ko po, saan nyo ilalagay si Uncle Sam?
Ang puso ko Pilipino eh. So, siguro ibabato-bato ko lang yun po.
Sa sagot ni Lopez, ilang netizen na nanood sa pagdinig ang nagsabing dapat mabahala ang Amerika dahil posibleng maging banta ito sa seguridad. Kinwestiyon din sa pagdinig ang hindi pagpaparehistro ng mga magulang ni Lopez at maging siya mismo ng kanyang kapanganakan sa pinakamalapit na embahada sa Boston. Ayon kay Marcoleta, napakahalaga nito upang mairehistro siya sa census ng Pilipinas. Kinwestiyon din ito ang mga hindi authenticate na dokumentong isinumite ng kampo ni Lopez bilang requirement sa kanyang pagkuha ng Certificate of Recognition.
Ang problema po, ni-require po ba kayo ng Bureau of Immigration noong panahon na yon na mag-submit kayo ng birth certificate? Authenticated by the National Census and Statistics Office na kung tawagin ngayon ay Philippine Statistics Authority. Hindi po kayo ni-require ng gano'n eh. Ni-require po ba kayo na mag-submit kayo ng dokumento na nagpapatunay na nung kayo'y napanganak, ang pagkamamamayan o citizenship ng inyong ama ay Pilipino pa rin? It could happen, Mr. Lopez, that at the time of your birth, pwede namang mangyari na kahit Pilipino pa ang ama ninyo, anong malay natin, several years prior to your birth in 1952, maaaring nagpalit kasi ng citizenship ang inyong ama.
Lumitaw naman na tila hindi kabisado o nalilito ang abogado ni Lopez na si Attorney Ayo Bautista sa nilalaman ng Article 16 Section 11 ng 1987 Constitution ukol sa pagmamay-ari ng mass media. Kaya iginit nito na kailangan ng enabling law. At katwiran pa nito na wala namang nakalagay na bawal ang dual citizenship kaya walang nilabag ang kanyang kliyente. Nanindigan sina Marcoleta at Rimulya na malinaw ang konstitusyon na 100% Filipino ang pinapayagang magmay-ari ng mass media dahil itinuturing ito na fourth estate. At si Lopez ay malinaw na may dual citizenship. Ilan naman sa mga netizen ang nakapuna na pinatunayan lamang umano ni Lopez na ginagamit niya ang US citizenship para sa kanyang kaginhawaan. Kinwestiyon din ni Marcoleta ang walang batayang report ng isang reporter ng ABS-CBN laban sa kanya. Sinabi ni Marcoleta na hindi naman siya na-interview nito subalit nakagawa ng bias na report. Tinanong naman ni Rimulya si Lopez kung bahagi ng propaganda ng ABS ang hindi pagsasama sa kanilang mga report na siya ay US citizen.
Sinabi nyo nga na kayo ay American citizen at bumoboto kayo at lahat yan. Ngunit nahalata ko po, lahat po ng newsfeed ng ABS-CBN ay hindi ho sinasabi yan. Ang sinasabi ho yun, you are a Filipino citizen. Wala hong sinasabi na kayo po ay American citizen. Ito ba ho ay kasama sa propaganda ng ABS-CBN para ho sa isipan ng tao maitanim na kayo po ay Pilipino at hindi wala ho kayong pagkabanyaga sa inyong pagkatao? Ito ba ho ay sinasadya ho na sabihin sa mga tao na kayo ay Pilipino lamang at hindi sinasabing kayo ay Amerikano rin?
Para sa Eagle News, Eden Santos, we live in interesting times.
Inaalam na ng Philippine National Police at PIDEA kung saang bansa nagmula ang nasa 800 kilo ng shabu na nakumpiska sa magkasunod ng operasyon nitong weekend. Inaalam na rin ng mga otoridad kung sino ang nagpapagalaw sa Chinese national na naaresto sa Bulacan na pinaniniwala ang bodegero ng drug syndicate. Ang detalye sa report ni Mar Gabriel.
Iprinisinta ng Philippine National Police sa media ang nasa 800 kilo ng shabu na nakumpiska sa magkakasunod na operasyon ng PNP Drug Enforcement Group nitong weekend. Kasama na rito ang 756 na kilo ng shabu na nakumpiska nila sa Marilao, Bulacan noong Biyernes na tinatayang nagkakalaga ng 5.1 billion pesos. Naaresto sa nasabing operasyon ang Chinese national na si Yuen Kai at 2 Pinay na sina Agila Tulio at Maria Lynn Tulio. Iprinisinta rin ng PNP ang 36 na kilo ng shabu na nasabat sa follow-up buy-bust operation sa Coastal Mall sa Diosdado Macapagal Boulevard sa Parañaque City noong Sabado. Napatay sa nasabing operasyon ang 2 sospek na sina Danny Apiga at Jean Longkay. Naniniwala ang mga otoridad na imported o galing sa labas ng bansa ang mga nasabat na droga. Pero inaalam pa ng PNP at ng PIDEA kung saang bansa ito galing at kailan na ipasok sa bansa. Maaari daw kasi na old stock na ang mga ito o posible rin na naipuslit sa panahon ng lockdown kung kailan abala ang pamahalaan sa paglaban sa COVID-19. Nagsasagawa na ngayon ng backtrack investigation at profiling ang PNP at ang PIDEA para matukoy kung saan nagbula ang mga nakumpiskang illegal na droga. Sumasailalim na rin sa interogasyon ang naarestong Chinese national na si Yuen Kai na pinaniniwala ang budigero ng drug syndicate. Para sa Eagle News, Mar Gabriel, we live in interesting times.
Mga pangyayari sa labas ng bansa. Balitang Abroad.
Inalis na ng New Zealand ang lahat ng domestic coronavirus restrictions matapos ideklarang cleared na sa virus ang kanilang huling COVID-19 patient. Mismong si Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern ang nagsabing napagtagumpayan na nila ang virus. Hindi na anya kailangang ipatupad ang social distancing at wala na ring limit sa public gatherings. Gayunman, namamalagi pa rin ang strict border controls. At yan ang naging kabuuan ng ating may init na balita. Sa pangalan ng ating mga kaagapay, si Eagle News Service, ako po si Maricar Velasco and we live in interesting times. Susunod na ang programang Saganang Mamamayan kasama sina Congressman Dante Marcoleta at John Suborjaga.
Sumainyo ang mga balitang kinarap, maingat na isinulat at inihanay ng Eagle News Service.